So today we're going to be talking about our new feature, the three-way matching. And for this conversation, you're going to have myself. I'm Selena Tyler. I'm the Customer Success Manager for North America region. On this call, you're also going to have our solution consultant, Patrick Norton. He is a part of our pre-sales. And Justina Bilak, that is our product owner in Zaps. For today's agenda, we're going to be talking about what Zone is, what our three-way match is, what legacy versus our new three-way match is all about. And then Patrick's going to take you through a demo of three-way match, and we're going to do some takeaways. And then Justina will also dive into a little sneak peek on what's on our roadmap, what we have going on, some new releases, and then we'll follow that up with a live Q&A. And then after everything, we'll go ahead and wrap up the session. So here at Zone, our mission is to enhance the day-to-day operations of our accounting and finance teams that are using NetSuite by building easy-to-use applications known as our Suite apps. With that being said, here at Zone, we are dedicated to our customers, with all of our employees playing a huge part in how our ecosystem operates. With that being said, we are international and having over 45 plus partners. We are constantly growing and evolving, and that just grows into our committed success for our customers. From customer success, myself, from frontline support to helping with product adoption, partner support for partner implementation, professional services, offering expert NetSuite consultants, and providing our customers with material and training documentation for our products, whether that's from Zone University or our Knowledge Base Center. With that being said, here at Zone, we offer a variety of apps, from our Zone Billing, which is our borderless billing and revenue system built natively in NetSuite to help you scale and automate and also secure your order to cash operations. With Zone Approval Suite app, which provides the user an option to easily create approval workflows with full insight into the approval status for each individual transaction. From Scan and Capture, or now known as ZoneCapture, which is our native purchase to pay automation solution, or P2P for NetSuite. Automate the creation of vendor bills and credits using our OCR with no need to leave your NetSuite screen with the split feature. We also offer Zone Reconcile, which automatically reconciles your bank statements and your bank accounts within minutes and saves hours of manual processing every day. No hassle, no manual entry, and no errors, which we love. Zone Payments is seamlessly connected with your third-party payment providers, for instance, like Stripe, to collect customer payments and reconcile deposits directly within NetSuite. So there's no coding or middleware required with that one. And then Zone Reporting is our only pre-built Power BI reporting tool for NetSuite, with implementation in weeks with daily or hourly automated refreshes. And then we also offer Zone Payroll, which streamlines the managing payroll operations. And then Justina, I would love for you to go in and kind of explain what is three-way match and what all do we offer for that?
Yeah, so three-way match, here we are today to talk about our new feature. Three-way matching is for sure a concept that companies processing purchase order related vendor bills are familiar with. So when creating such vendor bills, an accountant has three sources of truth. So we have originally created a purchase order in NetSuite. We have item receipt, if that's applicable for a particular NetSuite account. And we have PDF invoice coming from your vendor. And based on this information, the actual vendor bill in NetSuite needs to be created. So three-way matching is to compare data from the purchase order, supplier invoice, and goods receipts, and make sure they match. And of course, if they do not match, to highlight differences that can be explained either with your vendor or inside your company, maybe with your purchase department. So as a product team here at Zone & Co, we wanted to make sure that when using ZoneCapture, you also have a full support in the three-way matching. So this enhanced new feature is now a part of ZoneCapture. And also to take it to even next level, three-way matching is also now compatible with auto processing of vendor bills connected to single purchase order.
Which leads into our next one. Just, why the new three-way match versus the legacy?
So indeed, we still have actually inside ZoneCapture the legacy PO line level validation rules, as you might know this solution. However, it had quite a lot of limitations, and we wanted to bring this solution to the next step. Our goal was to make three-way matching comparison process for accountants, for people processing vendor bills on a daily basis, as clear and easy inside ZoneCapture as possible. So as described before, we have up to 3 sources of data when processing PO-related bills. So we wanted to make sure that you have all relevant information on one screen, so you can make correct decision during processing of vendor bills via ZoneCapture. So this new feature brings more flexibility. You have real-time insight into three-way matching results. When processing vendor bills, you can adjust any data also manually if needed during processing. So this three-way match comparison is accessible already before you save the vendor bill, so you can correctly assess what kind of impact this particular vendor bill gonna have for your company, and also to bring it for the approver with full insight what is happening in the three-way matching results.
Perfect. Well, thank you for explaining that. I think next we'll go into, I'll introduce you to Patrick, and he's going to kind of give an overview of three-way match for ZoneCapture.
Sure, thanks a lot. Hi, everybody. So I'll be talking more about ZoneCapture and the three-way match. So I wanted to recap what it is, ZoneCapture itself, how it works, and then go into that three-way match functionality in greater detail. So, of course, ZoneCapture is our AP automation solution. One of the major benefits there is it's built 100% inside of NetSuite. So there's no need to leave NetSuite or build third-party integrations or anything like that. And the application automates the creation of vendor bills and credits using our intelligent OCR. If you're not familiar, that's optical character recognition. So how does it work? Well, first, we would send in or forward invoice PDFs to a designated email address. The PDF is then captured in your NetSuite account in the filing cabinet. And from there, the OCR reads the data from the PDF. And with that data, we create a booking recommendation in NetSuite in the form of a pre-filled vendor bill. So these can be automatically processed into vendor bills in the system, or the AP user can hop in there and validate the bill using the split screen functionality. And when they're happy with the information, just click save, and it actually creates the record in NetSuite. And at that point, the new record will follow any existing customizations or workflow approval processes. So we did build out the new three-way match functionality, and ZoneCapture utilizes that to compare the PO, invoice, and item receipts, all to ensure that your bills are as accurate as possible. And we're really excited to introduce those new features we're talking about and improvements to that three-way match functionality. So we built the functionality to further automate AP processes and give a high level of visibility. We really wanted to give companies as much flexibility as possible, introducing things like threshold amounts and percentages with configuration levels at the system, subsidiary, vendor, and even item levels. Finally, we wanted to allow for easy adjustments in the event of a mismatch, all the while increasing efficiency when processing really high volumes of complex POs. So many lines, inventory, all that good stuff. All right, do you mind if I take over the screen
Yeah,
Alright,
absolutely.
perfect. Thank you very much. So we should be able to see my NetSuite screen here. And if I'm an accountant, if I'm an accounting firm ordering office supplies, I want to make sure that I receive the supplies I order and then bill the appropriate amount for what I received. And I don't want to spend time or resources doing that. Well, ZoneCapture and our three-way match functionality is aiming to accomplish just that. So automation whose accuracy can be quickly verified if we need to. I'm clicking into the ZoneCapture UI, which is handily right in my dashboard in NetSuite. And each of the lines within my user interface represent invoices that have been sent into the system. So a note here is we can automatically process these lines directly into vendor bills. And at that point, they can be picked up by the approval process. So essentially, we could use this UI to manage by exception anything that is not auto-created. So what I'll do now is I'll click into an example and we can talk more about that three-way match. So I'm popping open via process and we're going to see that first example of the side screen. So the PDF on my left here and the bill on my right-hand side. So I can see all the pre-populated header level information. If I was a user, I could just come in here and input anything that I needed to. And then pointing my attention to the bottom, I have my lines and my three-way matching modal. My demo count can be a little bit sluggish sometimes. I'm just going to reload this. All right, so yep, just sort of stuck there. We can see my lines here. And I have this three-way matching modal, which I'll click into in just a moment. But below we can see those lines. So what I have here in white are lines that are coming from the PO and they're successfully matched with captured lines. The blue line here, we were not able to find on the invoice. So most likely the vendor bill is not billing exactly what's on the PO. I'm going to click into the modal and we'll see the new format and functionality. So at the header level, I can see things like my matching summary of the progress. I can see my total amount, currency, the PO that we're referencing, and all these fields are dynamic. So any changes that I make here will be recalculated in real time. Below, of course, we can see the lines where the PO information is represented on the left. I have item receipt information in the center, and then invoice or bill information on the right-hand side here. If we point our attention to this first line, we can see this orange checkbox, and it's telling us that we have a successful match, but there are some differences for us to look into. So those differences here, we can see this orange 3 here. And what that's telling us is that we're being billed for less than we ordered. So we might have an underbilling event that we might want to look into. And then we have some black highlights around these lines. And that is our three-way match containing threshold. So again, we can set these at item, vendor, subsidiary, or system level. In my case for this, we have it set on the item record. So if I pop into the item record, under my ZoneCapture subtab, I'm actually saying that for rate, we have a tolerance of 55 cents. So because the difference between what's on my PO and what's actually on my bill is within that value, we're going to take the captured value. So if this line looks good, I can move on. And line 3, we actually have a perfect match. There's nothing at all occurring here. And if we point to the 4th line, we actually have a red highlight over the quantity received. This is telling us we have differences in quantity from the invoice and PO compared to the receipt. The red highlight's also telling us it's outside of the threshold, or the threshold isn't defined, and the 3-way match is highlighting any difference here. It's up to the user if this is acceptable or if we need to make any adjustments, but likely we would be beginning by talking to the receiving team. Now beneath this, we have 2 unmatched lines. In cases like these, we do have the ability to drag and drop and make a manual match. We'll see that my values here have updated and I actually have more than 100% matching progress. And if I point my attention to the lines, to the values on the right-hand side, we'll see that it's highlighted blue, which is telling me that I have settings in place to take PO information by default when there are differences. And I'm actually not happy with this match at all, so I can just unlink this. And I'll see those back to their unmatched status. And I can actually bill a PO line as a standard standalone option, or I could remove that. And what's likely happening is I have this delivery fee on my bill or on my invoice, and I just need to add this as a standalone expense. When I do that, I've added my account automatically, and my amount matching progress is updated, my amount, all that good stuff. So likely I'll be ready to submit this, but prior to doing that, some other things to note is this bill all unmatched lines. So if you are dealing with tons of lines and the PDF data isn't in line with PO data, but you'd like to add lines to the vendor bill, I could click bill all unmatched lines to add those. I can also do things like hide matched lines. So I can just see information like this remaining line on the PO side, which is a PO line that just hasn't been billed yet. So I'll leave this alone and likely receive a bill later on. So again, this pop-up is dynamic. So when I click submit, these lines are going to be updated with any changes that I made. I now see that I have an expense line here where I didn't previously. And I can click save. Again, this can all happen automatically, but in this case, I am handling it by validating and clicking save. We're also in the new 3-way match maintaining a full audit trail. So we saw that there were some discrepancies on my 3-way match modal previously. All of that information we'll be able to look back on if we save these with any real discrepancies or failures. We will need to enter a reason, and love that for my internet connection. Apologies, everyone. Well, I can click into my process this month, And this is where anything that I create manually or is processed automatically will live. So I'll click into the bill that I just created and my internet rudely kicked us out of. And if I look over to the right-hand side, I have a ZoneCapture subtab, which contains all of that audit information. And in this particular case here, where we saw that red line highlighted on our discrepancy in quantity, it's telling us that we were meant to verify this because we were billed more than we received. So anytime we can look back. And with that, I've shown you the new ZoneCapture three-way match functionality and how it leads to less manual work, freeing up users to do other things while remaining flexible, allowing for those easy adjustments I just showed, while handling high volumes accurately and then maintaining visibility throughout. So with that, I'll pass it back to the rest of the team. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Patrick.
Absolutely.
Let me take it back over here. Wonderful. You guys can see my screen correctly?
We can.
Perfect. I got like 3 monitors up, so I just want to make sure it's the correct one. So that was a wonderful demo. I appreciate it. I know internet issues get the best of us, so it happens working from home. With that being said, I just kind of, wanted to go over what, Patrick was talking about, now that you're familiar with our three-way match from our demo and him highlighting, what the colors exactly mean. So just to kind of reiterate that, blue, goes over P-line or PO line data and current VB line data are the same, and the capture data in the background is different. Black is that there's a difference between the PO line data and current VB line data. Orange is only visible if the preference is marked. And then red is a difference between PO line data and current VB line data. All right. Awesome. Well, some key takeaways from our presentation today is that three-way match brings, less manual intervention and more visibility, as you saw there in our demo. You're able to capture data, receipts, PO data, all in one screen. You're able to enable, you can be enabled on subsidiary or main configuration level for ZoneCapture. We offer 4 levels of settings that are for the threshold, those being item, vendor, subsidiary, and main configuration of ZoneCapture. Full through match summary is available after the bill is saved. Just wanted to note that too. And then being compatible with our auto processing feature as well. Lastly, three-way match is also used in the similar manner for our three-way match in zone approvals. And then some exciting things, last but not least is, what we have on our roadmap here for ZoneCapture. And I'd love for Justina to kind of talk about what we have going on.
Yes, definitely. So as always, we are working on new features for you. So we are now in the middle of the preparation of the next release, 2.6.0. So just to give you a short overview, what is happening inside our team, we are very busy with introducing generative AI into ZoneCapture. It has quite a lot of flavors. What kind of automation it will bring? We will for sure prepare a separate webinar just to focus on this topic. But to give you an overview, what are we talking about is to use generative AI to auto-populate header and line level data with any custom field that you might have inside your system without setting up manually any rules. Also, what we are working on is to use Gen AI to also select vendor and subsidiary for the particular PDF that you're processing via ZoneCapture. With tailored data extraction, we mean that we're going to have more flexibility now to auto-populate any custom field that you have inside your NetSuite on your vendor bills or vendor credits. So that also will help with basically more flexibility again for the user to set up their system. And the last point that we are still heavily working on is vendor portal that will provide self-service. It's vendor onboarding portal when you can onboard your vendors, request information from your vendors, approve your vendor master data as well. So that's all what we are currently working on. And of course, the moment we release the new version, the mass communication is sent by our support team to all customers. So make sure that you don't miss this information and go through our release notes. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Before we go into our Q&A session, I would love to highlight that we do have our knowledge base for existing customers. In our knowledge base, you can find it at help@zoneandco.com. And our knowledge base looks a little something like this. Are you guys still able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure it's showing the knowledge base. So the knowledge base has our Zone Billing, ZoneCapture, all of our apps here, as well as Zone University, if you're wanting a deep dive and kind of look into other features that we offer, or just have some simple training on it. When you navigate into ZoneCapture, let me just show really quick. You're able to see, getting started, installation and configurations, and how to use the application. And if you have any questions or need some troubleshooting, you can find that there as well. Let me go back. Perfect. Now that we have that, any questions that we can answer? I see that we have some here in the chat.
Yeah, so I think one question that I would like to definitely mention is about the versions of ZoneCapture. So currently, the newest version that we have is 2.5. And at this moment, almost all production accounts are upgraded, because this is, please note that this is managed bundle. So we are upgrading your production account automatically. So three-way matching is already available in version 2.4. And the next version, so the current newest version, 2.5, contains some enhancements, for example, inline editing inside three-way matching pop-up that Patrick showed. But yeah, basically all production accounts already have three-way matching feature. If you would like to try it on your sandbox, please remember that sandbox needs to be upgraded by your administrator. So we do not upgrade your sandboxes. Your NetSuite administrator need to upgrade that. So always make sure that it's upgraded to the newest version. Then for sure you're gonna have three-way matching feature available there. And some questions about purchase orders. Are purchase orders still being issued out of NetSuite? Also, to clarify, this three-way matching feature is available inside ZoneCapture. So yeah, first of all, of course, purchase orders need to exist in NetSuite. That's our starting point. That's our given data. The same with item receipts if you use them. And then while processing PDFs via ZoneCapture, this three-way matching will be available and will compare purchase order existing in NetSuite with captured data through our OCR engine. Okay, and if we have still a few minutes, another question about VAT, so tax on three-way match. Also to clarify, we source lines from the purchase order. So if you have tax code defined on PO lines, the moment you process a vendor bill related to this purchase order via ZoneCapture, we will bring this tax defined on the PO and any custom field you might have already defined on the PO, we will bring it to the vendor bill. And from there, of course, you can adjust everything. We just propose values for you. If you see that the tax code needs to be adjusted, that will be the manual work during processing of vendor bill. And see still some not answered questions. How do we set up new three-way matching? Do we need to reach out to our account manager? So yeah, as mentioned, production account, for sure, three-way matching feature is already available there. If you want to try it on your sandbox, just in case, always upgrade ZoneCapture to the newest version to make sure the feature is there. By default, this feature is not enabled. So you need to navigate to main configuration or subsidiary configuration inside ZoneCapture. There is a three-way matching subtab, and then you just press the checkbox to enable the feature. But all this instruction you can easily find inside our knowledge base, and then there will be clear guidance how to enable it. But it's a matter of marking a checkbox inside your ZoneCapture configuration to enable it. And then, of course, we have a lot of flavors there. There are some additional checkboxes, like, for example, enforce three-way matching on save. But also, please remember, when using our application, when you, in the configuration, click on the field, every field has field level helper with full explanation what the particular checkbox is responsible for. And based on that, you can decide if you would like to enable a particular feature or not. And that's all.
And then to access our knowledge base, it is help.zoneandco.com, which will go over how to set up three-way match, how to enable it, and any questions that you may have after our webinar here today. Well, that will conclude our Q&A here, as well as our webinar. And we appreciate everyone for attending, for your time today. And if you have any lingering questions, please reach out to your CSM, myself, Selena, and we can go from there. And we will, if we need to set up a call, more than happy to. But I hope we were able to, help you guys understand our three-way match and our new three-way match versus our legacy. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.